Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is I'm Brandon here. I know it's been a long time since I actually made a video on this channel, but I felt like it was time for me to start making more content outside of streaming and the stuff I post on social media. Which I get a lot of questions a lot about industry stuff, streaming stuff, and I have a few videos out there that kind of explain some of this stuff, but it's been definitely 2 years since I made like an actual in-depth video about some of the things that I've come across and what I have thought and tips I wanted to give to other people to help them out. So I figured why not in 2020 start off the first month with a new video. So for this one, it's no longer kind of Twitch tips. Since I made the previous videos I made, there's a lot more platforms out there. There's Mixer, there's Facebook, there's YouTube Gaming. There's a lot of streamers out there on different platforms now at this point. So we're gonna kind of make this more broader, content wise, more broader, to kind of speak to more than just only Twitch folks, because obviously a lot of these things do apply for Twitch people. So, since I have been gone, there's been a lot that's changed. I obviously still stream on Twitch. I still work in the gaming industry. I still do stuff for community management. I still do stuff with brands. I still organize events, charity events. So this video is going to be a combination of just a lot of stuff. So we're probably going to talk about streaming and then brands and working sponsorships and then trying to get into the industry. So this video is going to have a lot to talk about. It's going to be pretty long. If I am going to be able to put in timestamps, I'm going to try to in the description, or I'll put them in there as well. So we're going to talk about streaming. We're going to cover some stuff that has happened over the last few years, that I think is really important to talk about. And as a streamer, myself, I've been streaming for almost 5 years, been a partner for almost 4 years, and I am at this state right now where, I stream at least once a week, which is not really a good schedule for someone who wants to stream consistently. But this is like my first kind of tip, that I'll say, is that after streaming for so long and seeing the ins and outs of streamers burning out and leaving and coming back and all that kind of stuff, I could say personally that I have dealt with burnout a lot. Right now, I have a full-time job, and it keeps me busy. So I try to stream as much as possible, and sometimes that's not always possible. And the first thing I do want to talk about that I know I haven't talked about in any other video is burnout, and realizing that there are content creators who, stream every single day for several hours a day, and that's good. If that is what you can do, and you want to provide your community and your audience with a lot of content, I think that's great. But I think that most streamers do need to learn about work and life balance. And I don't care what people say. When you start doing content creation, take content creation very seriously. It is no longer a hobby, it is a job. So you have to think of it like that. Unfortunately, if you are a streamer who is trying to do this as a career, or you are a full-time streamer, you really don't have breaks. You don't really have sick days. You don't have vacation times. You have to worry about paying for your own insurance. You got to worry about taxes. That's one thing that I feel that a lot of people who are thinking about being full-time streamers don't take into consideration sometimes. And you have to depend on your community support in order to survive. We see a lot of the big name streamers out there, getting contracts for millions of dollars. That's a very, very small percentage of all the streamers out there who are trying to be successful. Yes, there's, the ninjas, there's the Dr. Lupos out there who are making a lot of money streaming, and of course they deserve it. They deserve that money because they have made a name for themselves and they have changed the streaming industry. But I would say a majority of us will not be getting multi-million-dollar contracts to stream. So we need to be very careful what we're doing and being very safe about our money and being, responsible if we're able to do it. Being a full-time streamer, you have to sacrifice a lot. you have to make sure that your rent is paid. You have to make sure you're taking care of yourself. If you have a family that you have to take care of as well, you have to make sure that they're taken care of. You have to make sure that you're taking care of your taxes. You have to make sure you're just being on top of everything. You know, streamers have to pay for their own insurance if you're in the US at least, and you get penalized if you don't. You know, trust me, I know that because I was a full-time streamer for a little bit and working from home, and I definitely felt that. Um, but the other thing I was gonna say is that a lot of the reason why I look at my old videos and I kind of get a little like ugh about it is because of the fact that I'm telling people to grind and make sure you're streaming consistently. And see myself now, I stream not even close to consistent, and I have been through several different types of burnout throughout the last 2 years. There was a point where I wasn't streaming at all, and I decided to kind of go out there in the world and start doing stuff outside of the computer and outside of the streaming and being on Twitter and trying to keep up with everybody, watching people's streams. Like, I had to take that time to myself to relearn about myself and to actually make friends on the outside world. I think that is something that is very important that a lot of people neglect to do because they want to make partner. They want to get to the next emote slot. They want to stream all the time to try to hit those goals. But you also have to find that balance where you aren't on camera and you're not entertaining, or that you have time to yourself. As someone who has been streaming for years, that is most important, that you take the time to yourself to relax and do all that kind of stuff, because a lot of people don't. Um, some other things I would definitely talk about and think that's very important is, you know, streamer Twitter. We have heard about it. We see it. There's stuff all the time happening. This has become a much bigger deal than it was years ago. Now, Twitter is one of the biggest platforms for streamers to have. They are able to talk about their feelings. They're able to talk to their communities. They're able to connect with brands at all kinds of levels through Twitter. And along with that comes, the different drama that happens all the time. And I'm not gonna lie that I have been involved in several things that happened on Twitter that I don't feel is right, and I feel like I should talk about it. But sometimes you have to kind of pick and choose your battles. It depends. And one thing I'll say about Twitter is that I will never tell you how to tweet. I will never tell you what you need to do on your Twitter. Everybody's personality is different. I'm speaking from a standpoint where I'm kind of in the neutral space where yes, I am a streamer. Yes, I'm an influencer. Yes, I do work for a company. So I can't go off on Twitter and just do the most craziest things and say all this stuff about people that I would like to. Just kidding. I can't do that because I have to have that fine balance where it's like I have to realize that my brand is out there at this point. People see my tweets and a lot of people see them. It's not like I'm tweeting to myself and that's it. I always try to tell people that your social media is your resume, even if you're not trying to get a job in the gaming industry, many jobs outside of the gaming industry or just, in the industry in general will ask for your social media, or they won't even ask. They will just look you up. There's systems out there to find you on social media. And if you are just going off on people, if you're just posting nasty things or just saying whatever, could ruin your chances for a lot of future opportunities. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, especially the way I've seen a lot of people tweet. So you have to pick and choose your battles and just realize that people that you potentially could work for can look you up pretty quickly. And also, from a brand's perspective, and I've worked for several brands over the last 3 years, and worked with brands over the last 3 years. They may not say anything to you, but people see. The industry is very small, and people will know what's going on. People, let people know, like, hey, watch out for this person, because you don't want a relationship with a brand that you're already working with, and have them end up working with a really bad person that you know they're bad. So I mean, the industry is just very small, and we do talk. We do know when stuff is going on, because essentially, if you're being, you know, just a horrible person on social media, we're not going to want to work with you. That's plain and simple. Unless, I mean, there's some brands who want to take that risk. That is on them. I would rather not work for or work with a brand that's willing to take risk on people who are problematic. That's not a good look on me. But you just have to be aware of that kind of stuff, you know. Another thing that I think is really just has been apparent is, you know, since Twitch has been around for so long, you know, Twitch is like the number one streaming platform for gaming. And since I've made a lot of these videos, there's been other ones that have popped up. You know, there's Mixer, there's YouTube gaming, there's Facebook gaming. And there's this weird kind of division where it's just like, oh, you're a Mixer streamer, stay away from me. Or like, I don't know if it's vice versa, because I don't stream on Mixer. I know a lot of Mixer streamers. I know a lot of Mixer staff. I'm friends with a lot of people on different platforms because luckily for me, my job has helped me to be able to meet people on different platforms. And this is the thing that I wanted to convey, is that we're all content creators on different platforms. Like, if you're on Mixer, sure. Like, if you're on Twitch, sure. The division can seem kind of childish. There can be a little bit of high school stuff going on with that. And I feel like it's just not necessary. Wherever someone chooses to stream for their home and choose to be their home for streaming, that's on them. I just think it's a bad look. It also closes your network of people when you're just like, I'm only speaking with Twitch people. That's it. Why not branch out to people who maybe on Mixer, maybe go watch a Mixer stream that you might like, you might enjoy. That just opens up your network even more. Your social media network even opens up more because you're, you know, interacting with more people. That's one of the things where people ask me, how do I grow my social media? How do I grow followers? A lot of social media following and growing it is by talking to people, interacting with people. If you close your box of network because you only want to talk to Twitch streamers, that's it. You don't want to talk to anybody from Mixer because they're Mixer. No. I mean, you're just making your network even smaller. And I don't know why someone would want to do that, but you know, we're all content creators. We're all nerds sitting in our rooms talking to ourselves, to people on the internet. You know, I feel like the best way of trying to make yourself even more personable is just spreading the love to different platforms. You don't have to necessarily be in someone's chat. Being a streamer and talking to other streamers, it's a really great way to learn about what you could do better or how you can learn from somebody else, you know, that kind of stuff. So there is that. Streamer Twitter and social media, which comes with a lot of different things. I don't know, just kind of going in the direction of things I've been thinking about. All right. So when it comes to something else that I haven't done, that I've seen a lot of creators, especially the last like year, have been doing, is branching out their content onto other platforms. Not necessarily, you know, a Twitch streamer streaming on Mixer, but a Twitch streamer, you know, using social media apps like TikTok, going on making podcasts. That is one thing that I see a lot. That I see a lot of streamers creating content like podcasts and different stuff on Twitch, but like not using that to put it into podcast form for audio for people to watch or people to listen. For people to listen. That's such a missed opportunity. You can grow your network by using the content that you already have been making, by streaming it on Twitch or Mixer or whatever, taking that audio, putting it on, I don't know, Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if the content is what people are kind of looking for, that's another avenue to reach more people. You know, TikTok is out there and a lot of streamers are on there, and a lot of streamers are gaining a lot of followers very quickly because streamers are very good at making content and knowing what is funny and what's not, and what works and what's not. You know, if you could jump on that bandwagon, go for it. Go for it. For sure. Let me see. This is another thing that I was thinking about. If, you know, One thing I've never made a video about when I changed my name, and I know some of you like followed this channel or subscribed to this channel when it was UGR Gaming, and suddenly the name changed to I Brandon. There, I'm sure there's some people out there who have thought about changing their brand and been scared to do so. And I just wanted to say, as a person who um, has went through a whole rebranding 3 years ago, I have been able to recreate my brand and then put it out there. And it is possible. You just have to be very strategic about it. You need to have all the social medias networks and knowing where your name is and grabbing it where you can and making sure it's consistent with everything else. So if you did all different branding before, it all should make sense now. So if you're wondering about that kind of stuff, I will leave a description in I'll leave a link in this description that I made for a memories on Twitter that I wrote about the different websites you could go to about changing your name and how to locate it and all that kind of stuff. So, all right. And we have also, I forgot to say this at the beginning, but there are some questions that people posted on Twitter, which I will be getting to at the end, that I would love to talk about, which is going to be involving this more streamer focused things. And I think that's going to be excellent to bring up. So we're going to talk about that at the end. So some other stuff I kind of want to bring up in the streaming related world. Charity events. I have been doing charity events probably since I started streaming and being more involved with streaming. It has been a really great experience to be able to give back and help where I can, using my platform of gaming and streaming to bring awareness to a lot of different causes over the last 3 or 4 years, which has been awesome. And when it comes to trying to do charity, it gets very popular. During the months of St. Jude and Extra Life, and people want to raise so much money for charity. And there's so many different great avenues to do that. If you have not been able to do a charity stream before and you want to do one, I highly suggest doing some research into Tiltify. That's a really good website that people use to, fundraise, that you don't have to worry about any of the money. They can donate towards that Tiltify link and it goes directly to the charity of your choice on their website. I've used it for several years. Definitely was using them when they first started. They've been nothing but excellent for me. So I truly love it. And when it comes to charity events, like, you really have to think about what you want to do. I have done solo charity events. I have done group charity events. And one of the things that I think will always show really well, especially when you're doing it, for your community and your audience, is picking a charity that you truly, really support and you really want to give back to, and coming up with incentives for, if you raise a certain amount of money, you'll do something. And usually those incentives are things you absolutely would not like to do, or things that you hate, or things that are outrageous that would be funny to your community, that if they raised enough money that you would do it. I think that's an excellent, great way to raise money for charity. And a lot of people say, like, streamers are the best beggars when it comes to charity, because a lot of us are willing to go the mile to try to raise money to help other people, which is really amazing. So if you have any questions about that, you can feel free to reach out to me. I've done several different events for charity, and I think it's great. Another thing, sponsorships. I did create a video about sponsorships, which it will be linked here. All the old videos will be linked as well here. But when it comes to sponsorships and that kind of stuff, one thing, and I'm just gonna say two things on this, is that there's a lot of brands now that are learning about streaming a lot more. And there is a lot of great companies that are willing to work with all sorts of streamers of all levels. You just started, or you've been a veteran streamer, or you're like a pro streamer. as a person who worked for several different companies that work with streamers, I, me, me as a streamer myself working in the industry, I have always tried to give chances to everybody. Like, I was not only searching for the top streamers because I knew for a fact, and this is why I always try to teach people, teach brands as well, is that you really need to think about the person's audience and if it can, like, the content that you want them to promote will connect with their audience. You can pay one of the biggest streamers in the world to try to promote, I don't know, pens. And that I don't know, say that streamer hates pens but likes pencils. And it just doesn't seem genuine. And when you try to go for maybe the smaller tier streamers who are passionate, who have great communities, who have people who are coming back who support them and want to help them, and they want to see them succeed. Those kind of people are the greatest avenues of trying to get brands to work with you. And so this is something I see all the time on social media, and it really bothers me all the time because it just shuts down your communication with any brand most of the time when you do this. Not you, but the you. I'll see, a brand put out an opportunity and be like, we're looking for streamers to play our game. And so you see the responses and people are leaving responses, and there's always that one person who is like, well, I'm not a big streamer, so this is not for me. Or, well, I don't have any viewers, so this is not for me. Or it just say like really negative things about themselves. And it's just always so bothersome to me because if this case, I've always said, if this is the case and you are in that space, you're in that area where you feel that brands will not work with you, do not respond to their things trying to get guilt them by saying, you know what, I'm a small streamer, no one's gonna want to give me this opportunity. It just looks really bad on you as a streamer that you have no confidence and that you're already telling the brand, you know what, I just try to get pity and see if you maybe will do that. Brands will do that. Brands will not feel sorry for you because you're promoting their stuff. So you need to have confidence. And I've seen so many streamers who may not have the biggest audience do really successful in a lot of different activations because they have the personality that shows, hey, I can really promote this and I really do enjoy this product. The thing about, the word influencer that gets kind of thrown around sometimes is the fact that, like, I feel like an influencer is a person who is able to convey to their community about something that they love and showing people that, and people being like, you know what, hey, I do want to check out that. I will go buy that game. I think that'd be awesome. I think that's an influencer. You don't have to have like millions of followers. I don't have millions of followers. And it's weird for me to even say that. But, having self-confidence. And this also goes into when you email. There's a lot of companies now that are open to working with streamers via email. Or if you use a service where you can apply for keys for a game like Arsenal GG. Sending a message be like, I'm a small streamer, but no, don't start off with that. As a person who used to have to give games to streamers of all kinds of levels, when you start off, I'm a small streamer, but, or enter a pity sentence, but I'll do this. No. And the other thing I was going to say about that is no one is guaranteed a free game. No one is guaranteed a free key. No one has to get a free key. It's up to the brand to do that. And there is nothing stopping anybody to going out there and actually purchasing a game that they want to get a free key from a company. I think a lot of the issue now with some streamers out there is because they want to get everything for free, and because they see people getting it for free themselves, so they feel like they could just ask for that. No one is guaranteed success, and no one's guaranteed that they're gonna get free stuff from companies. If you get denied for something, why don't you just go out there and promote it and just still tell that brand, hey, you know what? I streamed your game. Here's the VOD of it. Here you go. that's a great another way to working with a brand and showing them that you, even though you may not have received a key, you still supported them by purchasing their game and showing off their content to your stream, which is, I think, is really cool. And then knowing your statistics, which is another part of Arsenal GG. I am plugging it because I think it's an awesome website for streamers who should be using it to know all the ins and outs when they're trying to get sponsorships from brands. And this wasn't out when I made my sponsorship video, so this is a new thing that I want to make sure that's in there. But yeah, just coming, and the other thing I was gonna say, and I feel is really important, is streaming really does open up the doors to brand new opportunities that you would not think of. As somebody who has been in this industry for over 6 years and streaming for going on year number 5, if I was not a streamer, I would not be here today. I would not be making this video today. I would not be in any sort of position of a career that I am in today. I would not be able to have traveled all over the world. I would not be able to have reached so many people and talk to people from all over the world just by streaming if I did not stream. And streaming really does open up some doors to really great things, like getting a job in the gaming industry. Right now, I have seen so many people who are streamers who work in the industry just like me. And it's incredible to see because of the fact that, it's about, you learn all these skills by streaming. You learn about marketing, you learn about networking, you learn about video production, you learn about audio production, you learn about a lot of stuff just by streaming. And for the outside looking in, a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, you're just like playing games on the internet. That's it." No, it's more than that. It's an incredible experience that can really open up some doors by showcasing your skills and your talent. And that's like I want to tell people that if you really want to get in the industry and you are a streamer, it is very possible. You just have to look out for those job opportunities or reach out yourself. Find a brand that you like, send it your resume and an email, and hopefully they'll get to you. So yeah, I think that's a really cool way of getting into the industry. It's possible, you just have to try. And all this stuff that I'm saying, it's, yes, there's some luck in streaming, but the fact is you have to work hard. If you're not willing to do the work, you're not going to go anywhere. And streaming is not for everybody. And that's okay. And if you get to a point where you just don't think it's going to work, that is okay to just stop. But that you could also, if you feel like, I don't want to be a streamer anymore, but I have this experience to try to see if I could work in community management, or if I can work with social media stuff with a brand, why not try it? And just having that readily available for brands to see and showcasing to a job opportunity that, hey, I've done this and this is like the things I've done, I think it's very plausible for sure. All right. So we are going to get to some of the questions that were brought up on Twitter that I want to see if I have some knowledge on this stuff to make sure that I kind of go over it. So I'm going to try to put their Twitter thing here in the question and see what I can answer best. So let's start off. All right. So let's see. From Meteor Matt Games asks, what about choosing games to stream? I have to pick games that really like, no Fortnite for me, or else viewers would know I'm not having fun. So I pick games that I truly enjoy and make me smile. Okay, so for this one, this is very hard for me to talk about because of the fact that when I first started, I was playing a very niche game that, it had a tight-knit community. But after playing that game constantly for years, I got bored of it. And so I started to play games outside of that realm, but kind of still in that realm. So what I'm talking about is when I first started streaming, I played a lot of Resident Evil games. And so what I started to do, when I kind of didn't want to play them anymore because I got bored of them, I started playing games around there. I started playing really scary games and horror games. And one of the games I started playing was Outlast. And I really enjoyed the content of that game that I started playing it all the time. And then I got to a point where I started speedrunning the game, and then I would speedrun the game and then talk in conversation with people in my chat, and people would come in and be like, is this your first time playing? Like, how are you able to do this? And that was kind of a really cool way for me to interact with people with a new game that got me really excited. And I've tried to do that over the last few years and try to do new stuff, you know. Um, like I don't get like a lot of viewers like I used to, and I because mainly because I don't stream as often as I used to. But when I do stream, I stream games that I have interest in. I've played games from Overwatch. I've played games from Monster Hunter World. I've played Life is Strange. It's just been all over the place. But for me, I think it's most important for anybody to play a game that they enjoy. Sometimes if you're like trying to grind for partner, like if you have to play a game, at least play a game that you like. Don't try to play Fortnite because you see Fortnite's on the top directory, so you're gonna try to play that to see if people will come play or come watch your stream. I would never play a game just for the views because most often than not, people have to go through several different streams to even find your stream, especially if it's like you don't have that many viewers off the bat. So they got to go through all those streams to even find you. I would say find a game that you really enjoy and then try to see if that, you know, gain some traction. Use the tools that are out there. Like Twitch has several different ways of, you know, describing your channel. You can use tags. Try to use different tags to see if you can gain more people. You know, there's a retro tag, there's a LGBT tag, there is, you know, first playthrough tag, all that kind of stuff. Use those kind of tools to try to help brand your stream in another way, just in case someone happens to click on, hey, I want to watch a retro stream. Let me click this retro tag, and they find your stream that way. There's so many different ways that people can find your stream. But I will say, as the streaming world has grown, more and more streamers are wanting to get involved. So the discoverability gets smaller and smaller each day. So you just have to find what works best for you and to try to just go with it. But always don't follow what, like, if you see someone's like has thousands of viewers playing Fortnite, don't think if you play Fortnite, that's going to work the same way, or just hoping for a raid. That's probably not going to happen. So I would just watch out for that, but play, of course, games that you like. So hopefully that kind of answered that. All right. So Jam Panda 3, I think this, okay, let me make sure I get this right. So to streamers, watch what you say on social, which I did bring that up. We look at that history and determines if we want to work with you or not. Plus, all industry folks know each other, so word gets around. That is very true. I did say that in this video. I just want to make sure that we brought that up again because that is very true. You have to watch what you say on social media because, yeah, you don't know if you are losing an opportunity by saying something and a brand's like, oh, you know what? We don't want to work with this person because of what they said. You got to be very careful. Obviously, being on Twitter, you want to show off your personality, but you also want to be aware that when you are showing your personality, you just have to understand there's some consequences of things you could possibly say to hurt your brand, but you just got to be aware of that. So that's just very, 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 very true. Okay, so let's see. Next up is Mr. Pure Instinct. Okay, so this was a good question. So I'm going to read it to myself real quick. How to include Twitch streaming on a resume. I see so many people say they've been laid off and stream full time until they find a new gig in their field or they want to use their stream to try to break in the gaming industry. But how could you word it on a resume really well? Okay, so this is such a good question. And luckily for me, I kind of use some of my previous experiences, like when I was a blogger, and I did put that on like resumes, but I think it depends on what you're actually trying to apply for. Like I would not put like for a retail job that you're a Twitch streamer. I think if it was like you are trying to work for a gaming company, you just have to kind of explain what kind of accomplishments that you've done. Like, say if you're trying to apply to a community manager job for Square Enix for one of their games, I would say it's totally fine to, you know, put in there that you are a Twitch streamer and say, you know what, like I have helped raise this certain amount of money for charity. I have managed my community through, you know, through Discord and different events that I've done. I've have held an average of this amount of viewers. I have worked with brands for sponsorships for this, and this kind of stuff. I think it's really good to try to utilize your streaming achievements that are really good in a resume, but when it's relevant, something in the gaming industry, but try to explain it. Just say I stream on Twitch. That's not gonna help you. I definitely not. I would not hire someone who just says, I stream on Twitch. Okay, but what makes you different? Like, show us it, or tell us what is different about you. Like, what have you done on Twitch or Mixer or YouTube that shows us, okay, you really know what you're doing. Like, you easily say, I do marketing for my brand or for the channel. I do audio and video production when I'm trying to set up a stream. Like, putting together a stream is not very easy. And if you're a graphics designer, that's another thing you could definitely put in there too. Like, I design my own graphics on my stream. I think that's totally fine. Um, but yeah, full-time streaming can be tough. We talked about that in this video already, so we're gonna continue moving on. All right, so let's see. We got another one. So this one is another one that we got from Ray B. Don't Die. How best to manage your social media to direct people to your page? Woo! That is a good one. That is a good one. That is a good one. Okay. So I have been using Twitter for like 7 years, and I still have not found everything out yet. And one thing I will say with a confidence is that, and this is not like a brag thing, this is not me trying to brag about anything. I have over 24,000 followers on Twitter. If I post, hey, I'm live on Twitch, that does not mean that all 24,000 people are going to come over to my stream and follow. That is not going to happen. So the thing that, and I'm really glad that we're bringing this up because I should have talked about this earlier, but I think is really important, is that there are some great tools that you can use, especially on Twitch and Mixer. They're starting to have some of this stuff too, is that when you stream, there are those great moments that people can clip from your chat, or you can clip yourself, and all that kind of stuff. I have used clips on Twitter so many times that have gained traction because of the fact that people see it who may not watch my stream, but they happen to see the tweet and watch the video, and they're like, oh, that's really funny. I'm going to like that. You know what? I'm going to check out his stream because the link is in his bio, which is another thing I'm going to say. If you are a streamer trying to get opportunities on just in general, please have some place to that people can contact you. Have a place on your bio. Have a streamer link somewhere. Have it in on your channel. And I understand that people try to not have their contact info out there because of harassment issues. That is totally understandable. But I would say if that's the case, try to have an email that you do not care if someone like sends you something stupid. Don't have your personal email on there. Just have a streamer email and just have that there. But please have a way for brands to contact you, because especially I have tried to work with so many content creators over time that I have seen their content and be like, oh my God, this person's awesome for this. And I can't find any way to find them. And I go on to the next person. And there are people there's a lot of brands who will do that. They will go to your channel. And if your channel has no VOD saved, that's a problem. You need to have your VOD saved at all times. All times. That is not even if you want to work with brands. That even helps you with new followers who may come in and say, hey, I've heard this person, or I just happened to stumble on this channel. Let me look at their past broadcasts to see what they're like. If there's nothing there, there's nothing that anybody can see about what your channel is like when you're not there or live. So they just move on to the next thing. I know there's people who do stuff behind a paywall. I think that's up to whoever wants to do that, but you need to be very skeptical, or you need to think about that people are not gonna want to pay to watch your old streams just to watch it. If someone's a subscriber to you, of course, that's great because they're getting an extra perk because, hey, I'm a subscriber. I get this VOD only VOD. But if it's like you're trying to get people to pay to watch your old stuff, people will most likely will not do that. So that's not going to happen. But yeah. So we're getting back to social media. Okay. So yeah, using clips, taking clips in from your stream and adding them onto Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Putting together a compilation, showing people your stream who may not have ever clicked on your channel. I think using clips is a great way to showcase yourself in a way where it's like you're not telling somebody, "Hey, come check me out." It's right there in front of them, and they don't have to leave. They can just click right there, and they can see your channel. It's up to them if they like you or not, and they may share it. Um, and it also, if you like having a command in your chat where it's like if your current going live tweet, have your community, if they're on Twitter, clicking on it and retweeting it and sharing it. A lot of like my viewers, a lot of people who've come to see me is because that each stream for sure, 2 or 3 times, I will click a button and it will showcase the tweet that I put out there saying going live. And then I ask my audience, if you could, click this tweet, retweet it, share it with your friends, because word of mouth is really, really good on as a content creator to get more content out there, more people watching you. So you got to be very, very strategic about it. But having that like click the tweet or just that call to action for people to share your content to get more people in is a great, incredible way to just get more of your content out there. Let's see. So this is the last one. This is from JC for Life. So I'm going to read this. I haven't read it all the way out yet, so hopefully it makes sense to me. I hesitate to use the term because it seems so negative, but escaping the 3 average viewer purgatory, mostly centered around how can I effectively advertise my stream without feeling like I'm nagging a person to watch. Also, the struggle of wanting to feel like being a part of a community and other people's channels without it coming across as piggybacking on their success. Okay, this is a very good question. I'm going to try to answer this the best way I can. So I'm going to take it in 2 parts. So when I make these videos, has always been me giving like what I think could help. It's never been this will help you so much that it will help you succeed. I can only give so much advice. Not everything is going to work for everybody. And unfortunately, there will be people who will have no viewers ever. And it hurts to say that, but it's true. There's going to be people who will sit there and stream for hours, years, and will never have viewers. And you can't help, like, there's not anybody who could help that unless you yourself are doing things to try to get more people in. One thing, I've always done is networking with other streamers and being a part of other people's communities. And it's a weird take, but I had to say, you have to think about it as you can't go into someone's stream thinking like, oh, I'm here to try to see if I can get viewers and they possibly will watch me. That is not how it works. I have always said, if you generally like a streamer and you generally like a channel, and you don't have to even announce that you're a streamer, what I always did is that if I really liked a channel, I never talked about myself. I always was just involved in the community. What I would do is that after like a few streams or whatever, and I really liked that streamer, I'd go follow them on Twitter. And most of the time, people who get a follow on Twitter will go see who that person is. And if it's like that person recognized me from chat and sees that I'm a streamer, that's the greatest way of not promoting yourself and having someone see that you're a streamer too and be like, oh, wow, you stream too. Like, maybe I'll come raid you sometime. That's me just saying that, not saying people do that all the time, but that is a great way to being a part of a community and being genuine. I think there is such a thing as being a genuine person who's networking by being in someone's chat and actually enjoying it and talking to people, and a simple, easy way is just following them on Twitter. And then if it says you're streaming, there you go. But when it comes to being at an average of 3 viewers, you have to think of it like this. And I think some people see the numbers and get really upset. And what I have always done, and still to this day, is I cover the numbers. I don't see how many viewers I have. I don't look at it. I mean, yes, I'll get the stats at the end of the stream, but I tend to not look at that, because when you start looking at how many viewers are in there, you start freaking out and be like, oh my God, there should be more people in here. Like, what's going on? You have to stream as if there's 50 people talking. You have to be, even if there's no one at the time talking, talk about the game, talk about it out loud. Because when someone clicks on a new stream, you literally have probably less than 30 seconds to keep that person going and want to actually talk to you. If you're sitting there playing the game and not focusing on it because no one's talking to you and you're just sitting there, someone's could come in and out and be gone by the time you even notice that. And no welcome bots. Do not have welcome bots that welcome people. That just drives people out of the stream. I had to say that. Had to say to get that out of there. But yes, if you have 3 viewers, those are 3 people who are choosing to take time out of their day to watch you. For when I first started streaming, I had a group of 10 people who would watch me for a long time. And like, I enjoyed them. We all would like kick it on Discord, or it was Skype at the time. We'd hang out in Discord and talk to each other all the time. It was just like 10 of us, it was like 10 friends hanging out. And so I think a lot of these issues come up because people see other people's successes and see that this person has this many viewers. Why don't I have that many viewers? You have to enjoy the people who are there with you, because if they know that you're enjoying their company, they're going to keep coming back. And when they keep coming back, that's another viewer to your stream that brings up your stream even more in the directory it's in. And also like I said earlier, having them retweet your stream, having them share your stream when it goes out. If you just sit there and just not plug anything, that's not going to help. But you need to remember that those 3 people who are there, they're there for you. They're there to enjoy the community that you have right there. But like I said, this is my genuine tips for how to kind of get out of that mindset of like having a low amount of viewers in your head. And you got to cover it up. Like, cover up the viewer count. Do not look at it. Try to entertain your stream as if there's 100 people in the stream. You're constantly talking and you're asking questions. If your chat gets quiet, we all go through that. Like, I've had thousands of people in my stream, and there's been times where the chat just gets slow or people are not talking. You just need to figure out a way to talk. Ask a question. Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, what's your favorite food? What's this? What's that? Putting clever things in your title of your stream that pulls people in. The going live notification, especially on Twitch, changing that up. Don't let it be the default. Blah 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 went live. Blah 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 went live. Like, if you see that every day, one of your viewers who have followed you see that same thing every day, it's just gonna go right past it, and they're not gonna think about that notification. It's another notification that doesn't even matter to them because they see it all the time. If you customize it where it's like you write something where it's like feels personable, like where it's like, hey, I'm live, come hang out in the chat, let's talk about food, let's talk about your favorite pizza, or asking a question like, so is pineapple belong on pizza? Come say, let me know in chat. That person is gonna come run and say, no, it doesn't, or yes, it does. That is, using the tools that are there. There are so many tools out there that people are not utilizing that could help bring more people into their chat. And the one thing, especially on social media, is engaging with other people. You can't get on Twitter and just like tweet and then not say anything to anybody else that you're following. Interacting with people, that's how you grow and connect with other people. That's what social media is. You have to. There's no way. You can't just like put out a tweet and just hope that it's gonna get popular, because that's it. It doesn't work like that. You have to interact with people. You have to talk to people. You have to like their tweets. If you enjoy their tweets, if you like their content, sharing it. That's a big important thing for sure. But I think we went through all the questions. This is a long video, almost an hour, but a lot of these topics I have gone over in previous videos. They will be linked in the description if you want to check out more, because I do have beginner's guides of like streamers and intermediate streamers, if partnerships, and trying to the road partnership as well. So if you want to check out those videos, those still do apply, but there's been a few things I wanted to add on to this. But that is it for me, I would say. Thank you for watching this video if you've gotten this far. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. If this is on Twitch, make sure you follow the channel as well. I have a lot of videos under the playlist, so if you want to check out any other videos on tips and advice I've given over the last 5 years, that would be excellent. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you do want to follow me on Twitter, you'll find me at IamBrandonTV. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM or a tweet, and I can try to get to it the best I can. And I would love to hear what you think of this video. Hopefully I can make some more that have more content. This was kind of something I wanted to put out there for 2020. So hopefully it helped in some ways. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Peace.